Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a fall reading vlog. I have been so motivated to read recently. I don't know what it is. I mean, I know what it is. It's just so beautiful outside and I just feel like it's getting chilly. I just want to cuddle up, sit outside with my little sweater on and read a book. And while I'm inspired, I wanted to film a little reading vlog because I think that they're so fun. So in this book, I'm just going to be reading a few books that I think are putting me in the fall spirit. First book I'm going to start off with is The Atlas Six by Olivia Blake. I don't know much about this going into it, so I'm really intrigued to see what it's all about and what I think of it. I know that it has a very cult following, and I know that it was like very well loved amongst like book talk, booktube. I'm wondering if it's going to be like Six of Crows-esque, but other than that I don't know anything going into it. So this is going to be the first book that I read in this vlog. Hello everyone. I'm on a walk right now because it is literally perfect fall weather. And I'm listening to the Atlas Six. Does anyone else get out of breath when they walk more than 5 steps? Because same, but I finished the beginning chapter that basically set up. I think that, I don't know why I thought this was like a high stakes fantasy. It doesn't seem that way because it's talking about a library, but I'm very intrigued and I have a feeling it's going to become really found family, which I'm excited about. And I'm wondering if it's going to give similar vibes to Six of Crows. But now I'm on the Libby chapter and I'm going to keep listening while I'm on my little fall girl walk. So we'll keep you guys posted. So I just finished Libby's chapter and it's giving enemies to lovers. Okay, also my nose is peeling because of tretinoin, so we're gonna ignore that, but it's giving enemies to lovers and it set up the book really cute. The way that this book is written reminds me a lot of The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, which is written by V.E. Schwab. I feel like it's kind of giving same vibes. I don't know if I kind of also think that because the covers look really similar, but that's the vibes that it's giving. And I'm listening to the audiobook on Spotify right now, and the audiobook is really good. I think they have different voice actors for each character, which is really, really nice because I feel like it differentiates them all in my brain. But first chapter definitely piqued my interest. Now I'm on Raina's chapter, so it will be interesting to get her backstory, but I could read a whole thing on Nico and Libby right now, so we'll see what happens. So I've blinked and I'm now 239 pages into this book. I have not been able to stop listening to this audiobook all day. I listened to it on my commute to work. I listened to it at work while I was working, and then I listened to it on my drive home, and my commute's an hour. So, oh my gosh, like since I started, I seriously cannot stop thinking about this book. And I feel like I'm just over halfway now, and I feel like it picked up a lot. Like it's not at all what I thought the beginning of this book was going to be, or the vibes of this book were going to be. I feel like kind of unsettled at this point, but in an exciting way, and that's really surprising. I will say the author has done a really good job of making each character very, very distinct, and I could tell each character's personality, and you know, I still am rooting for Nico and Libby, although it seems like that's never gonna happen. I don't know if she's gonna go down the friendship route. I hope she doesn't pull a Jennifer Lynn Barnes and like end up putting the couple together that I don't want and nobody else wants, obviously, because everyone thinks like me. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm like super intrigued, and hands down my favorite character by a long shot is Nico. I love him, and I also kind of like what's going on between Nico and Raina, or potentially what's going on there. I'm like very unsettled. I feel like we're getting so much background, and you know, it's one thing to know like I feel like we found out earlier on how the 5 are chosen, or rather how the 6th is eliminated. We kind of find that out, but it didn't seem so sinister at first. Like, yes, it was, spoiler alert, but like, yes, it was that one of them needs to die, but that didn't seem like such a huge reveal to me. I kind of expected that, but I feel like now it's getting really sinister. Like when Parisa was in Dalton's head, something about that was like really weird, and I feel like something extremely fishy is going on, and I don't know what it is, and I can't quite figure it out, and it's so intriguing. Like, I can't even stand it. Like, I just want to keep reading this book 24/7. Like, I do not want to put this down, which is so interesting. And I think another really, like, kudos to the author, because the writing style seriously changes with each character, which makes it that much more distinct and personified, I guess, which I think is so cool. And yeah, my favorite character, definitely Nico. I relate to Libby, but she's a little bit annoying, and I'm like, oh my god, am I that annoying? And then I feel like the mid tiers are Reina. I didn't like Tristan at first, but now he's okay, but he's just in the mid tier for me. I actually hate Parisa. She just pisses me off so much. And Callum I don't like either, but I feel like that's obvious. And Dalton, the whole Parisa Dalton thing is very confusing to me. I feel like it happened instantly, and there's not much of a connection, even though he's like, you're gonna be my undoing, or whatever the hell. I'm like, come on, we've seen this 5 billion times before. So I cannot even predict what's gonna happen. I can't even predict who they're gonna get rid of, and I hope to God that the person that is Callum or Parisa. I at least think Callum would make it interesting. I just hate Parisa as a character, and I don't know why. I'm very intrigued, but I feel like I have half truths of everything. Okay, final consensus is I'm really intrigued, but I feel like I'm about 55% of the way through the book, and I don't think I have enough information on anything. I feel like I know half truths of everything, so I can't even feel like I can formulate a full opinion on anything, because I feel like I don't know the whole story, which is really interesting, and I'm wondering if that's intentional or not, because, and I think it is, because things I feel are slowly getting revealed, and I feel like it's becoming higher and higher and higher stakes, which is so interesting. Like, we got to hear about Libby's backstory, we know about Gideon's backstory, like, so through Nico, then Callum basically manipulated Parisa's backstory. So I feel like we're getting these like small crumbs into each of these guys' backstories, and very intrigued to see what's gonna happen next. I will come back, update you guys. I'll try to be better about updating. I just like can't even put this book down, so yeah. What the fuck just happened? Page 250 of this book. Holy shit. Ezra? What's happening right now? I am so confused. I think Ezra was the 6th. No, like the traveler that Atlas mentioned at the beginning, like the potential last choice. It's no accident. It's no accident that she used those words here. It's no accident. It's no accident. I just got makeup all over my book because I just touched my face. Wow. I'm like at a loss for words right now, and I feel like this literally has never happened to me. I feel like I did when I watched Attack on Titan season 4. If you know, you know. Oh, this book is like, it's making me anxious. Okay, nothing. I'm speechless right now. I don't know why him being there is like really like turning something in me, but it is, and I don't feel good about this. I do not feel good about this. No. Holy fucking shit. Let me tell you, I love reading in the car, specifically when I'm charging my car, because I feel like I'm in my own little bubble here and I can read, I turn my phone off, and like I don't have to have people bother me and stuff. But this book is getting really, really crazy. I'm right at part 8, chapter 8 or whatever, titled Death. And I just can't. I feel like there's so much going on. At the end of each of these parts, I'm just like flabbergasted, especially because clearly there's some link between Ezra and Atlas, which I'm so confused about. And now I found out that the archives say that Callum kills Tristan. So I don't even want to start the next part because I'm like, oh my god, is Tristan gonna be dead? But if Tristan is dead, honestly, I'm not super attached to Tristan, so I don't really care like either which way, but I'm really interested to see like how this really like pans out and stuff. So I guess we'll see. Oh my gosh, there's 3 cars here for charging and I'm only at 67%, but I only have 15 minutes left, so somebody can wait. Anyways, yeah. Also, this book is so pretty. Like these illustrations, love. I wish more books would do stuff like this because it's so nice to picture the characters. Although apparently Nico's in love with Gideon, which like, okay, stan, but also I was hoping for Nico and Libby, so we'll see. But I think I was seeing somewhere that this is basically like a sextuple, or like, you know how they say a throuple, but this is like a sextuple because there's 6 of them and I think they're all kind of in love with each other. But I don't know if I believe that either because Raina is definitely not in love with them. But oh, I really am just yapping yap. Anyways, I'll come back with an update as I read through because clearly this is Libby's POV, so I don't know if Tristan's going to be dead or not, so I guess we'll see. Okay, I'm about 345 pages in. I'm really, really close to the end of the book here, and I feel like the book is kind of losing me a bit. Obviously the whole Libby situation was really shocking and that was really cool, and it's obvious who took her now. And I really liked that she did that like interlude before where we kind of realize that he's bad. But I feel like now there's a lot going on in this book that's like really losing me. There's this concept of time travel, and then Dalton, it is like, oh, I was the only one that can make that sort of animation. But then if Dalton made it, like it's like when Parisa was in his mind, she was like talking to some like younger version of him or something, and he doesn't even realize that she's doing that. And then Atlas pulls her out. Like, I'm very, very confused. And I feel like there's a lot happening. It was at first giving Inception vibes where it's like, okay, if you're confused because the plot was really good. But I feel like now it's just straight up confusing. So I'm hoping that it wraps up a bit better. But right now she's kind of losing me a bit because I feel like there's a lot going on and I'm not quite grasping what's happening. So wait, so Ezra's like 10 years older than Libby and has been like conning her this whole time? Question mark. Also, I literally have dry shampoo in my hair, just ignore that. What the hell? Okay, so please excuse my disheveled appearance. It's the early mornings. But the next book that I'm going to read in this video is The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. Now, this went super viral, I feel like, around this time last year. And everyone loves this book. I feel like, I'm not gonna lie, like when I heard the premise, I'm not sure if I would like it, which is why I've put off reading it until now. But I feel like it's very appropriate for this time of year and like for this video. So I'm going to read it. I'm going to try to like set my expectations aside. Or not that I have bad or low expectations. It's just, I don't know, the concept of going back in time, and I think she's like in love with somebody from like 7 years ago. Like that kind of icks me out for whatever reason, but I'm hoping that there's more to this book and I'll be pleasantly surprised. What I know about this book is that the main character inherits, I think, some property from her grandmother, and when she goes into that apartment, time slips like 7 years in the past or something, and I think she like meets the romantic like love interest or whatever in that time period. I guess we'll see what happens, but I'm gonna start reading it and I will keep you guys posted on if I like it. It is so gorgeous outside. It's literally like 70 degrees. So, you know, not very fall weather, but it's raining outside weather. So I'm gonna take 7-Year Slip and go outside and read for a bit with my little coffee and enjoy the weather while I can. So you guys can come with and enjoy the weather with me. Oh my god, I already know exactly what is happening and I am loving it. Listen, if something's gonna be predictable, at least let it be done well, and this is being done well right now. Oh my god, we already know this author is the guy, and we already know like the reason he's going to all the different publishers because he knows she works at a publishing agency and he's trying to find her. We know. I can't wait to see this play out. I can already tell I'm finishing this book tonight. I'm reading this book in one day. There's just no way that I'm not. So, as predicted, I did finish 7-Year Slip in one day, in one sitting. Literally, since my last update, I just sat and binged it, and it was so good. Like I said, I knew I was gonna regret my words, and I really did, because the main character didn't end up being insufferable, and she didn't end up being like a self-sabotager, and it was just done so well. I was like giddy, like kicking my feet, giggling. I don't think it was like fully fleshed out properly, but I think I also might be thinking that because I just read the Atlas 6, and that was like a huge like magic system in that, and I feel like that one was like so complicated that I'm like, I feel like this one wasn't fully flushed out. But the one thing that didn't make sense to me though is if he knew that he was gonna meet her in 7 years, like why did he completely change, and like why did he like act like he didn't want to see her and stuff? Like I feel like their reunion didn't make sense because it seems like they ended off on a bad foot, kind of like she left and he didn't know why. But if he knew why the entire time, like I feel like that just didn't make sense. So I would say that was like the only part that took me out of it. But beautiful book, really well done. Liked the magic in it too. It was very whimsical and fun, so I really liked it. I think the next book I'm gonna read is Evil Under the Sun by Agatha Christie, and I got a really pretty like version of this book. I think this is the UK print version. And like this is the back with the really pretty quote. I don't know what this is about, except that I know Agatha Christie writes mystery thrillers, and my mom used to love this author when she was little, so I'm really excited to read this. I did get this in India, so I feel like it'll be really fun. Also, like I said, it's just gorgeous, so I think this is going to be the next book that I read in this video, and as I get through it, I will let you guys know what I think. Hi guys, so little update. I'm about 3 chapters into Evil Under the Sun by Agatha Christie, and I have to say I don't really know if I'm a fan of hers, which is crazy to say because she is such a successful author and she has such a cult following, but I just don't know if her writing style really resonates with me. And like, dude, sorry about my nose peeling, by the way. It seems to do that no matter what I do. It's not boogers, it's just tretinoin and skin cell turnover. What I was going to say was I just don't know if her writing style is really resonating with me. And, you know, I don't know if that's the plight of a lot of the traditional publishing these days, where the writing is very conversational, because this is very formally written in the sense of it uses very like proper grammar. It'd be like, what does one do when oneself wants, very like removed from the characters, versus I feel like a lot of books that I read nowadays are very close to the characters, so it's kind of hard for me to connect, or I guess feel empathetic or root for these characters, really, because it seems like that you're reading through like a glass wall, like there's some sort of partition between the reader and the story. So I don't know necessarily if I love that, but I am gonna like push through and finish the book because she does have such a cult following, and I know it's for a reason, and I haven't really uncovered like the mystery part of it yet, part of the story, because like I said, I'm only 3 chapters in. So I'm gonna push through, but that's like my initial thoughts, is like I'm not really a huge fan of the writing style. Okay, so I just finished chapter 4, and obviously I just made it to the part where I guess the whole mystery of this book has been revealed, and I will say the mystery is intriguing, and I definitely like that part. So I'm interested to see like how this plays out and who ends up being the murderer, and like kind of seeing the mystery unfold. I am intrigued to see that, so at least the plot has been developed to that extent. I will say I wish that there weren't so many like random characters, and I wish that their names weren't like Mr. This and Mrs. This. Like, I just feel like if there was less characters and you focused more on them, it would be a bit easier to follow, and also just more interesting and easier to connect. But other than that, I feel like it has picked up a bit, which is promising, so hopefully we keep that steam going. Okay, I'm officially on chapter 8, and I have to say this is so hard for me to get through. It is not piquing my interest. I can't get into the writing. I already have a feeling I know who did it, and if that is who did it, then it's so obviously not even hinted at. It's just like so obvious it's not even interesting, and I would DNF it, honestly, because I'm not even interested in it, but I want to finish it for the sake of this video, and because I have a really pretty cover of this book. Here's the thing about buying books: if you don't know if you're gonna like them, that's just cringe. But regardless, I have a really pretty version of this book, and my mom loves Agatha Christie, so that's why I'm reading it. But this is like pulling teeth for me, so I probably won't even update until I finish the book at this point, because I just want to get it over with. I finished it. It actually wasn't the plot twist that I was pessimistically saying that I thought it was going to be, so at least there's that going for this, but it still wasn't great. I didn't enjoy it much more than the last 2 chapters, so there's that. And then the other thing is, I should have surmised this just by looking at the cover, but it's definitely like a summer murder, summertime murder, rather than a fall-time murder, but the murder itself was festive and fall, so that was cool. So that concludes all the books that I read in this reading vlog. So I started off with The Atlas Six by Olivia Blake, which I loved. I think that's like a 4.5 for me. I loved it. I'm really sad because I looked up reviews to continue the series and I heard it goes really downhill, so I might just pretend that it's a one-off and not a trilogy. You know, verdict's still out on that one, but that was amazing. Really recommend it. Then I read A 7-Year Slip, Also loved that one. I would say that's a solid 4-star for me. And that one is by Ashley Poston. And then I rounded it out with Evil Under the Sun by Agatha Christie. This one is a 2.5. I'm sorry. And I'm sorry to my mom. Anywho, that concludes this fall reading vlog. I really hope you guys enjoyed and got you in the mood to read some fall reads. If you have any favorite fall book recommendations, please leave them down below. And then I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!